Hey everyone, it's Julian, and today we are talking about Set 2 Sword, a really fun deck. You guys know Sword is sort of my favorite class, and I've been having a lot of success with this new list for Set 2. Of course, Sword got Odin, which every deck got Odin, right? But it also got Gildaria, which is low-key one of the best cards in the expansion. Might be the best one in my opinion. It's a very strong. It lets Sword really grind out a lot of games, and it's something you really have to play around. But it's honestly kind of hard to play around. It's very unexpected when it's going to come down, and it can do a large amount of AoE, right? Because you can play other things after it gets to that rally 20. And yeah, I think Sword is in a really good spot right now. It has a lot of favorable matchups into the current meta. It's really good against Aggro Abyss, and it's pretty good into almost everything else. So we're going to talk about the deck list here, and then I'm going to give you some games that we played last night on stream when I hit Diamond with Sword. And yeah, this is just a very fun deck. I really like Sword, and let's get right into it. But before we do, if you guys are enjoying the content, dropping a like and subscribing would really help me out. We're getting a lot of new viewers, and I'm really appreciative of that. And it's really awesome to see new people come into the comments and in the stream and just hang out and have a good time. So, yeah, we're going to get right into the video. Here we go. So, first, we're going to start from the left to the right. Phildau, generic 2-drop, right? We're playing Phildau because we really want options on that first Evo turn. Sometimes we need that Zirconia, right, on the first Evo turn. But if we don't hit it, we need some options to respond to their board, especially in the mirror match, right? It's really nice to have a card like this that's able to answer their own Zirconia, right, in the mirror match. So, really like Phildau, just a 2 of, and of course it's just like a tempo 2-drop. I do think right now 2/2s are really important. There's a lot of 2/1s or 1 health early plays that get stuffed by a lot of things like puppets, like Sword, right, the Luminous Lance Trooper. So I think having a 2-drop 2/2 is really important right now in all decks. But I think this is the choice for Sword. I think you could go Hinekar and Jafner. I like that as well. But because we have Gildaria now, we can use our Evo points a lot early game. And because we're going to be basically getting 3 free Evos in the late game. So really like Phildau. Then we have, of course, Ignominious Samurai, kind of just a staple. I've always talked about this, but I do think that Ignominious is one of the weakest early game options. But of course, the late game holds up so well because of this card. 2-drop, basically kill anything. Now it combos really well Gildaria, right? You can go Gildaria, do some AoE, play this, do some more AoE, and then kill the big threat. Or if they have like 2 big threats, right? You can go Ignominious, swing into the other big threat, and then Gildaria swing into the other thing. So really like this. Helps against Wardhaven. I haven't seen a ton of Wardhaven really, actually at all recently. It's a lot of, if I do see Haven, it's a lot of Amulet Haven, which is a deck that I will probably be doing a video on because I'm really enjoying that deck, and I think there's something there, but that'll be soon. But yeah, Ignominious just pretty much an auto-include in Sword, but one of the weaker early game cards, right? Then we move on to the Luminous Lance Trooper, one of the most kind of meta-defining cards in the early game right now. You really have to always be wary of this card when you're playing against Sword, right? Because of course, they can just play it and get a really great tempo swing if you played a 1-drop or a 1 health 2-drop, right? Thinking about like Puppet Lancer, you really do not want to play Puppet Lancer into a card like this because it just gets hosed, right? Same thing with Ignominious Samurai. Any 1 health 2-drop is just really, really rough right now. Obviously, except Prim because she's stealth, right? This is also kind of the card that really helps against Aggro Abyss. This card is insane in the early game against that deck. They play so many 1-drops, and even their like 3-drops are like 1/1s too. The Errol I'm thinking of. So yeah, this card is just another auto-include. I would say this is your best early game 2-drop outside of just playing like a Phildau, right? So yeah, you really want to see the Lance Trooper. Next, we have Princess Prim. Just a really nice addition to the early game for Sword that they got in set 2, right? This card gives you another 2-drop to play, the Nanja, and going second now is really nice because you have like options now, so you can go coin, prim, and then play Nanja on 2, which is really nice. Yeah, I really like this card. It translates really well into the late game. I'd say this is like that middle ground of on turn 2 play or early game play, because it's not as great as the Luminous Lance Trooper or the Phildau, but it's not as bad as the Ignominious Samurai, and it can set up some interesting options in the late game, or not the late game, but like the mid game, keeping it stealthed and then waiting for the Zirconia buff, unless you do have to swing into something. And also in the late game, she's just a 2-drop that gives you another 2-drop, so it's kind of like making up resources, which I really like, because Sword, like we've talked about, has no early game draw. So really like this card. This is one of the better additions from set 2. Then we have 2 Grimnirs. I'm playing this because I really like a proactive turn 3 play. We don't really have that. All of our other turn 3 plays are reactive, right? The Valse removes, and the Rose kind of removes too, and we kind of want to save Rose for turn 5. We'll talk about her in a second, though. So Grimnir, I really like. If we go first, we're able to just go, 2-drop and then 3-drop here, and it's kind of hard to respond to. Obviously, they can do their own Rose, but in a lot of scenarios right now on turn 3, especially going first, it's pretty hard to remove this. And it, of course, stops a lot of early aggression. There's a lot of decks that not even are necessarily aggro decks, because there are a lot of aggro decks right now, like Aggro Abyss, even like Puppets to an extent. But there's a lot of decks right now that do just want to get out ahead in the early game and get a lot of face damage in. And Grimnir really helps stop that. And, of course, you get the Crest later on. And, of course, we have basically 3 extra Super Evolves in this deck. So you're really going to be able to get a ton of AoE damage with the Grimnir and Gildaria later on. So really like Grimnir, only 2 of, and I could see if you want to cut him. I think that's totally fine. I think then you're kind of leaning more reactionary in the early game, which I don't love. I really want to try a sword list. This is not it, but I really want to try a sword list that's playing a lot more fighters, a lot more 2-drop 2/2s, because I do feel like our 2-drops are nice, right? We have the Luminous Lance Trooper and Prim, and then, our Ignominious Samurai and stuff, but they're all very, like, reactive and kind of low statted. Obviously, Lance Trooper is, 2-3 worth of stats, but they're divided between 2 bodies, and she, of course, gets stuffed by a 2-drop 2/2, right? So I'd really love to see what a just really nice early game sword list would look like. And we might try that out, but I think Grimnir really helps out in that aspect, right? Not that the 2-drops are weak. They're very, very, very strong. But specifically playing them on tempo in the early game is slightly weak compared to other decks like Puppet, right? So Grimnir, nice add. Then we get Valse. Of course, Valse is just an amazing, amazing card. Like we talked about, insane removal, and then also has that sort of like optional stealth thing in the late game where you can really set up some lethal plays with Albert later on. And yeah, Valse is just a really, really good card. Be careful though, there's a lot more AoE going around, and also like Sword is kind of teching in the new 2-drop spell, the Band of War Princesses or Battle Princesses, and really destroys this card if you do that play, right? And I think that's actually an interesting card to add in general in Sword right now, so we might talk about that at some later date if we do make some changes to this list. But Valse, of course, just a staple, really good card. Then we have Rose, a new 3-drop for set 2. She's a 3-drop 3/2, and she has Rush and then Follower Strike. If the opposing follower is damaged, destroy it. And then on Enhance 5, we draw a Swordcraft follower that costs 2 or less and change its cost to 0. And that 0 cost stays forever. So we're really able to stock a 2-drop if we want to. So let's kind of talk about what we can do with this. So on 5, you play her, and you basically have a chance to either draw Prim, Lance Trooper, or Ignominious Samurai. So if you're trying to clear a board, you really want to hit Lance Trooper or Ignominious Samurai, right? And that will basically lead to some big thing dying, right? Because you can go Lance Trooper, swing the Knight in, and then swing Rose in, and it'll auto-kill it, right? Or you go Ignominious Samurai, same thing on 5, but later on, she'll just Bane kill whatever, right? Now, if we get Prim, it's kind of interesting, because then we're able to stock the Prim as a zero-cost option, right? In the later game to combo with Gildaria or our other buff cards like Zirconia if we hit that in the later game. And of course, she has a really nice Super Evo on the give all other allied followers on the field +1/+1. So there's some nice board states we can get to where we have like Prim on the field, and we just have a bunch of threats that, depending on which one they kill, we can use the surviving one to like Super Evo or get even more value. So that is a very interesting option off the Rose, but most of the time this is just going to come down, remove something, hopefully on 3, and then on 5, hopefully remove something again, or give us some options in the late game. So I really like this card. Every turn after 5, this card is really, really strong. So yeah, really like Rose, nice addition. Zirconia, of course, just kind of an auto-include in every sword deck, really insane Evo. Really just an insane card. This card is just really, really good. And now that we have Prim, an early stealth option, we're able to really combo that together and keep her stealth for a couple turns and then get a buff on Zirconia and go face even more. So really like that. Or get some more removal, right? Because we can buff her to a 2/2 and then remove something like if we're responding to a Zirconia. So yeah, Zirconia, really good. Gotta have Zirconia. Next is the Luminous Mage. I keep going back and forth on the Luminous Mage, and there's a lot of swordless running around that are more aggressive, and they're cutting this card. I think that is fine, but I think that if you play more aggressive swordless, you're going to get killed by a lot of the value decks, and I think that's one of the strongest options and things with Sword right now is you're able to play a really nice early game, and then also have options in the late game, really strong options in the late game, and almost be like a control deck. So I think Mage really helps that. Amelia plus Mage has never been more relevant. I did that a couple times last night, and it's really, really nuts. It's really hard to deal with right now. There's not a ton of like hard removal AoE that's going around like Haven has, the Grail, right? But there's a lot of decks that just cannot respond to like a full barrier board, and you're able to just win the game from there. So yeah, I think Mage is really strong. She also helps add to the rally count for Gildaria, right? So I think she is pretty necessary right now. She also helps against the aggressive decks, right? She has 3 wards. And, yeah, it's just a really good card. I think you do need her, but I think if you want to play a super aggro version, you can cut her. I think she is could be, like, a first cut. Then we move on to Albert. I'm only actually playing 2 in this list, and I'll talk about why, because we have some other cards that kind of take up the same slot and do similar things, but we'll get into that later. But Albert is Albert, right? And then we have Amelia. Of course, Amelia is the draw support in this deck, and she's just an insane card. Amelia is just a really, really, really strong card. We know what she does, though. Then we get to a new card, Gildaria. Is she a snow leopard? I don't know. Palace Cat would be funnier. You know, Palace Cats are really cool, but she's probably a snow leopard, right? Gildaria is so nuts. This card is borderline broken. She probably is just like broken. And I do personally think she is the best new card of the expansion. Obviously, Norman is really strong, right? You get a ton of heal in Rune and in Earthright, but I think this card just does so much for Sword and lets you play so much of a sort of greedier playstyle where you just keep evoing stuff. You can just keep evoing stuff in the early game. Just evo. Oh, I ran out of evos. Too bad I still have 3 free super evolves. And her boards that she makes are really hard to clear. So let's get into it. 6-drop 4/4. Whenever another allied follower enters the field, deal 1 damage to all enemy followers. When this follower evolves, summon 2 copies of Steelclad Knight and give them Rush. And then Fanfare Rally 20. Super evolve this follower. Of course, Rally is how many followers have come into play on your side of the field in the game. So you really need some cards like the Mage to get this rally count up in a fast time. This is the type of card that really makes me want to play other token generators like Lorala. I really think Lorala is still a pretty good card in this meta. I haven't tried it out myself yet, but that's something I want to try soon. But once you hit Rally 20, you're able to auto super evolve, so she becomes a 7/7. She does 2 AoE because she summons 2 Steelclad Knights with Rush, and you basically clear any board with 1 card. And no evil points required. Just play this down, super evolve, clear a board, and now you have a 7/7 and probably 2 2/2s, but even if you just have the 7/7, that is mandatory to clear, because if she lives, you're going to get even more AoE. Really, really nuts card. And obviously you can play her on curve, right? On curve, she's going to clear most boards, kind of equivalent to like a Salefa, right? You do 2 AoE instead of the 3, but you have the 2 Steelclad Knights and the main body to swing into stuff. So Gildari is just nuts, but you'd really want to try to save her for the end game to grind some games out, right? So I think Gildaria is, in my opinion, the strongest new card. I know Odin and Norman kind of give her a run for her money, but I think in the end, Sword just got this insane-o card, insane value, that it kind of didn't need. Honestly, I think this card probably should just say normal evolve, and it would be fine. Or, like, why do the Steelclads have Rush? I think I asked that 5 times last night on stream. But Gildaria, very, very good card. And then, of course, we have Odin, the other new, really strong legendary. I do think that the argument you could make is this card is better because it goes in every deck. I could give you that. I could agree. And at that point, it's just, it doesn't matter, right? These are all very strong cards. But Odin, we're playing 2. Odin, we know what he does, I'm sure, at this point. Select an enemy card on the field and banish it, and then he has Storm, and he's a 4/2. And then I want to talk about Geno here real quick, because we're playing 2 Genos, and I want to show you sort of this, why we're playing 2 Alberts, right? So, Albert is late game, big burst of damage most of the time, going to end the game, right? Because he's going to come down on 9, Super Evo, and do 12 damage. And a little bit of AoE, but, not too much. A lot of decks right now have options to stop that from happening. There's a lot of wards running around, and also there's, like, kind of incremental heal. So, this is an all-in card. You can never really play this unless you're killing your opponent. And he also is really bad on 5, and he only comes down on 9, which is really late, right? So if you get too many of him in your hand, he can kind of break your hand, and it's really rough. And again, right, Amelia is our only card draw. We do have Prim as resource option. It gives us more resources, but it's not really drawing us cards. So if we have a couple Alberts stuck in our hand, it can get pretty rough, and we have to make some weird plays to really capitalize on the fact that we might not draw anything else, and we only have some plays to do with Albert, right? So I really don't like playing 3 Alberts right now because we have options like Odin. So when we talk about Odin, right, same thing. It has better removal than Albert because you just nuke a thing, right? And you can, Super Evo to get 7 damage, so that's 5 damage less than Albert, right? But you can also play him on tempo when he comes 2 turns earlier. He comes down 2 turns earlier. And Odin is just nice to have as an option in hand to just blow something up, and even sometimes trade, right? But usually you're just blowing something up and going face, especially if you gained a lot of tempo in the early game, right? So that's Odin. So we can really think of, we're playing 4 big late game storm threats, because we're playing the Albert and the Otis. That's 4, right? But then we want to go, hey, I really like the Odin removal, and we really like Geno, right? Geno was really good last set. But they kind of do some of the things. Geno kills 2 things. Odin kills 1. So we put Geno down to 2. So now we kind of have this weird thing, and you have to, stay with me now. you have 4 kind of Geno-esque cards and 4 Albert-esque cards, right? Because the Odin is this weird mishmash of both of them, but you play 2 of them, right? So you go 2, 2, 2. So you technically have more of each of these type of cards, but you don't have the downside of bricking on these cards, right? Because they all do different things. Albert is the big late game burst damage. and Geno is the big board clear. And now that you have Gildaria, you don't need Geno as much anyway, because you can wait till the late game to clear a lot of boards. And but Geno is that nice connecting point on like that turn 7 to clear some boards. So we still want him in the mix, right? So now we have this interesting like triangle of Odin, Albert, and Geno, but we're only playing 2 each, but we kind of have 4 of each of like Geno and Albert. Make with that what you will. Maybe I'm a crazy man, but that is basically what I'm doing with this deck, and it's worked really well, actually. I've never felt like, damn, man, I don't have Geno, I lose here, right? You always have like options. And same thing with Albert, like, damn, I don't have Albert, I lose here. Obviously, there are sometimes situations where it's like, wow, if I top deck Albert, I win. But we're still able to get through the turns because we just have so much high value cards right now. So that is that sort of triangle of cards. And then, of course, we ran out with Amalia, just insane 8-drop. And yeah, so that's the deck. This went on really long. I guess I had a lot to talk about Sword. Makes sense. It's my favorite deck. But we're going to go into some gameplay. I hope you guys enjoy that. If I make an update to this deck, I will be doing one of my classic, like replay reviews. This is one of the decks I'm planning on doing a really in-depth guide about. Right now I'm thinking about Puppets and Sword, and that is something I want to do maybe once a month or once per set, is do a really, really in-depth guide for my sort of deck of choice or deck that I've played the most, especially to help prepare for some tournaments and stuff. So we're going to go into some gameplay from last night, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out, and we're going to keep pushing on with some more Shadowverse content. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Is Control Abyss? He didn't have 1-drop? Did he? Oh, he did throw everything back. Maybe he's working. No, it's not Control. Yeah. Bad card alert. Bad card alert. That feels bad. Sword, you just get wins like this. Yeah, that's why I like playing these type of decks. Because it's just a lot of it. I mean, obviously, Sword can brick, but like games like this or Rune sometimes can just have games where it's just like, oh well, don't have any playables for 4 turns, so see ya. What size have deck lists? I'm taking from game with. But would like to see other. Yeah, Shadowverse wins. Yeah, Clay. Yeah, Shadowverse wins is really good. Shadowverse wins has been really good for a while. I would say use that. It's just called Shadowverse Wins. I don't know if it's .com or whatever, but you'll see it. Basically, the way it works is it's just it just aggregates a bunch of lists from Twitter that went on like win streaks and stuff, right? I would say use that. Like the original one? That's good. That's awesome. I'm glad that helps some people. Because, yeah, sometimes it's really hard to build decks, you know? Sometimes it's really hard to build decks. You know. So, thanks for dropping by. Alright, well, this is a hand. He is useful in like 3 out of 10 situations, yeah. He's cool though. When he's good, he's insane. Not too hot on Eurus, but he feels like a dead draw a lot. Yeah. This is like pure dirt, right? If I had a couple Gildarias in hand, this hand would be sick. There she is. I just play Centaur on 8. I don't know. I think Centaur's pretty bad. I don't think I agree with that. I think Centaur's pretty bad. People talk trash on Urius and then run Apollo. Yeah, I definitely think Apollo's worse than Urius for sure. I think Apollo was like the most run mediocre card last set. I think it was good for a little bit, but then it really fell off. And just play the fucking good card. I'm like, I'm just like, no, just play the good card. Play the card that clears the board and you don't have to swing into anything. I'm like trying to be greedy with like like holding it until I get to rally, but it's like sometimes you just play the good card. Ooh! He's scared. I was debating bumping it into the Anathema, but it's like, I want the face damage so bad. I'm just down bad for the face damage. You know. So like, I need to speed the game up because this thing's unkillable. Double Gen. I mean, Geno. Geno does clear it. Geno plus Samurai. Because he only has 6 dirt right now. My brain always forgets about Aura. Yeah. Comes to Urius, it's just the timing on when to use him. It's kind of hard to deal with Urius. You're either forced. Yeah, definitely. There's matchups and situations where Urius is like nuts. Yeah, I'm playing Albert. 2 of them. Before he draws for the next set. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance where the next set is, you know, really good, right? I mean, I think this set's pretty good though too. Now I think we get rid of the dirt, right? Or what do we do here? This is 6. We're 3 off. Maybe I still just ignore. Yeah, I mean, he can't AoE because we have the barriers. Yeah, because if he AoEs, it's like, fine. Oh, double? Double? Then Anathema's dead. Yep. That's fine. This board is still pretty fucking good. So yeah, that's fine, because just Anathema's gonna die. Do you not Evo? He healed. I almost feel like he should have taken the, what was it? 3. Geno? That feels like the play. Make her a 5/5 again. See, these situations is why, like, Odin is so good right now. Because it's like, just having out-of-hand damage like that for any deck is so good. Because, like, right now I'm at 14. I mean, Odin wouldn't kill me here anyway. But just having access to stuff like that makes Odin really strong. You know? Like, giving decks access to out-of-hand damage that don't normally have it, you know? Make sure to keep it locked. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, I almost want to greed the Gildaria. I can't. It's too greedy. Oh, I should've. You bastard silly. Not having this feels bad. Maybe I was supposed to obliterate that. Do I go Rose now? I'm doing Magus on 5 all the time, right? Yo, yeah. I just go this. Because, he already used play points, so he can't prim Naja this turn. So. And then I can prim Naja again. Prim is a good card. Turns out. Who would have thunk? But I was about to say Sari would be really good here, but... yeah, I just lose. If he has Zirconia, I just lose. Good game. Needed that earlier. Yeah, he's better. He wants it more. He wanted it more. No 3-drop. Nothing. He might not have it. Is he not a haver? What the fuck? That was so greedy. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means I lose to Gildaria. That's what it means. That's what it means. Ugh. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. If I win this game, it's gonna be obnoxious. It's gonna be obnoxious if I win this game. It's gonna be obnoxious. Don't let me win this game. Don't let me win this game. It's gonna be obnoxious if I win this fucking game. It's gonna be obnoxious. Do not let me win this fucking game. Do not let me win this game. Do not let me win this game. It's gonna be obnoxious if I win this fucking game. Watch him have the other Gildaria. Watch him have the third Gildaria. Wait, it's even at Rally. Oh, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it at Rally. I bet he drew it. Owner Albert. I was like, Mr. Electric. Mr. Hold on. Let me. I gotta make sure I play this right though, because we definitely basically won. Oh, fucking AoE. I forgot. That's fine. I don't think it matters. Oh my gosh. That was the craziest game I've ever played. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was like, I'm dead. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.